Hello and welcome to the Naked Gaming Podcast. What are you laughing at?
I enjoyed the build up to it. It's like hello and welcome, hello and welcome. It's the Naked Gaming Podcast. It's very good. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Although you've bought something
What do you mean?
that I don't approve of.
So many things. It could be anything.
No, you buy a lot of things. But this particular item, I think, looks absolutely useless and also is the geekiest, if that's a word, thing you've ever bought.
Geekiest is a word, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm just distracting
You would know.
I'm just trying to distract you.
What is it, Chris?
It's the most pointless accessory that's ever been designed.
So
for the
why did you
Nintendo
buy
Switch,
it?
because I wanted to see what it was like.
Go on, what is it?
So it's, you know, the Nintendo Switch has a left and a right detachable controller.
Yeah.
Well, you can buy a special left side only replacement, which has, you know, the buttons that like are directional buttons.
Yeah.
They're a bit better, and it's got
you
Zelda branding.
I'm going to say
on it.
you haven't said that you haven't got to the main bit yet. It's got Zelda on it. It's got Zelda on
It
it.
looks cool. Zelda Breath of the Wild special.
It doesn't look cool, Chris.
It does.
And also, why just the left one? What
Yeah.
about the right one?
I did wonder why they didn't also do a special right one in Zelda colours. But anyway, it's there, and I've bought it, and it was 20 quid, and I don't know if it's worth it yet. It's for people who like retro games, who like the direction buttons to be proper.
So you're going to keep it?
Who knows? Yes.
No! We've got enough rubbish around here.
Moving on. Well, last time, actually, we talked about Wordle, your favourite game,
Another pointless thing.
and why it's so popular.
It is just difficult enough. You know, that's something that you want. You want something that feels challenging, so that sense of accomplishment, but not so challenging that you can't achieve it.
This month, there's loads of games out, actually. You're just about to download Elden Ring, which is the one everyone's excited about. It came out as we record this podcast from the guy who wrote Game of Thrones.
Your favourite?
And it's kind of like a spiritual successor to Demon's Souls and all that stuff. But anyway, that's on the way next month. But this month, we've been playing Horizon Forbidden West.
Yep, Dying Light 2, Stay Human.
Stay human.
Stay human.
Pokemon Legends Arceus. I don't know. Still can't find out how to say it. I think it's Arceus.
And Sifu.
Like seafood, but not.
Sifu. Yeah, it's like a kung fu game.
There's also a new game that's out, which is aimed at tackling online misinformation about coronavirus. We're talking about that.
The game is based on the theory of psychological inoculation, which is it follows the medical analogy quite closely. Just as you inject people with an inactive or weakened strain of a virus to trigger the production of antibodies to confer immunity against future infection, it turns out you can do the same with information by preemptively exposing people to a weakened dose or a weakened dose of the strategies that are used to spread misinformation.
Oh, and our reporter Alex Rhodes has had some good news recently.
What, he got paid for doing some jobs for us?
No.
Oh.
He got engaged!
Oh,
Yay!
amazing. No, we knew that, really. Well done, Alex.
Mega congrats, guys.
Funny, because last time we saw him, we were like, so are you going to think about getting engaged? And he'd obviously was well on the case. Just after that, he's popped the question.
Yeah, and he did. So what better simulator to play than get him to play the wedding simulator?
Okay, tables and chairs. All the fancier ones are locked. Just like in real life, I can't afford them.
Wow. I mean, I can't wait to hear the rest of that. You can send us a message if you want to review any of the games, by the way, or if you're hearing anything that you like the sound of. You can find us on Twitter.
Sorry, I was yawning there.
I just wanted to point at you. I wanted everyone to know. What is it?
At Naked Gaming Pod.
So here's Lee Milner with...
Feels weird saying my full name.
I know. We are married after all.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think Alex will call Hope Bolger?
Yeah, probably.
Here's Lee Milner with some news about another big takeover in the world of gaming. You might remember the one we talked about last month. Also saying the word announcement about 6 times. Here we go.
After we announced that Microsoft is buying Activision Blizzard for $50 billion last month, Sony must have got a bit jealous. They recently announced that they're buying Bungie, who made the original Halo games and Destiny, for £2.6 billion. They'll be making huge mass multiplayer online games for them, but they say they will continue to release games on rival consoles. Rockstar have announced the game we knew was coming, Grand Theft Auto 6, saying we are pleased to confirm that active development for the next entry in the Grand Theft Auto series is well underway. No date has been set just yet, but at least we know it's being made. In other announcement news, the BioShock film that was originally planned for 2011 is now back in production and it's coming to Netflix. No date has been set for that either, but at least we know it's been made. Deja vu, anyone? And due to the recent storms called Dudley, Eunice and Franklin, Pokemon Go issued some players with an in-game weather warning, advising trainers to check the weather with their local weather service. There was also a button to press saying, "I'm safe." They really are on the ball.
Sorry about that last bit, about the on the ball bit.
I liked it.
We are talking about Pokemon, though, later in this episode with Arceus.
Arceus.
Stop kidding around. Snake?
So there's a new game about that makes people...
Another one?
Not another one. That makes people aware of online COVID misinformation, which I actually really think we need right now. It's made by someone called Sander van der Linden, who's a social psychologist at the University of Cambridge.
So the game is based on the theory of psychological inoculation, which is it follows the medical analogy quite closely. Just as you inject people with an inactive or weakened strain of a virus to trigger the production of antibodies to confer immunity against future infection, it turns out you can do the same with information by preemptively exposing people to a weakened dose or a weakened dose of the strategies that are used to spread misinformation. You can actually help people cultivate cognitive or intellectual antibodies.
It's interesting because I played it during level 1. I was choosing between, what tweets to put out on social media. And one of the options I chose was what I actually would have put out, which is something like, oh no, COVID, I'm going to have a gin, which is very much what I would have tweeted. And the game said, sorry, you only got 2 likes for that. You're not doing very well at being a master manipulator of social media. I guess that shows the it gives you that idea of what some people are trying to do, just chasing down those likes and chasing down that kind of popularity that they could get from spreading this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I hear that quite often. People who honestly, they kind of do what they would do on their own social media feed, and that tends to result in lower credibility. Because we know from lots of research that emotional posts are more likely to go viral because they play into not only sort of emotions, basic emotions like fear or anger, but particularly at the intersection with moral issues. And so that's what we try to show people, that step into the shoes of somebody who's trying to deceive you for a moment to see what they're trying to do instead of what you would normally do, and sort of illustrating that gap is what's important.
Are you worried that you could, on the other side of the coin, be training people who want to spread misinformation in how to do it?
No, so one of the things that we're careful about is that we don't actually show people any of the mechanics on how you would make money off of spreading fake news. So, we don't teach people how they could actually make a profit off of this. So we've kind of deliberately excluded those type of scenarios. I think the key thing is to make sure that they're weakened doses. So all of the material is fairly innocuous. It's so ridiculous that we don't actually do people, but it's hopefully humorous enough to get the point across. And at the end of the day, you do need to have a little bit of what we call, not a shock, but it is supposed to jumpstart people's immune system. So it is supposed to feel a little bit uncomfortable, but not too much. And that's kind of the important sort of line that we're threading here.
And you can play that. Just head to goviralgame.com.
What a great idea.
On to new reviews, and one to just mention quickly, because it's a sort of expansion, is Destiny 2 have got their new expansion out called The Witch Queen, which everyone's very excited by, if you like playing Destiny 2, which I don't. So we're not going to be doing that. But loads of AAA blockbuster games. Should we start with Horizon Forbidden West? Let's do it.
Go on then.
The old ones perished 1,000 years ago. Their great cities turned to graves. In their place came new life.
So if you ever played Killzone, which was like a PlayStation 2 game, first-person shooter, which had very good graphics and the shooting was really cool.
Yeah.
This is the same people who made Killzone,
Okay,
but they're turning their hand to huge open world kind of games.
like Zelda.
Like Zelda Breath of the Wild,
But-
exactly that.
But this looks phenomenal.
I hadn't played the original, really. I've downloaded the original and I've done about 5 minutes, but I decided to dive into this new one. And I think, and you saw the graphics of this as well.
Gorgeous.
It probably is the best game that I've ever seen graphically.
Would you say it's better than Ratchet and Clank?
Graphically, miles better,
Okay.
night and day better. But Ratchet and Clank is sort of impressive for its
Yeah.
how many things are going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
But this is very similar. You've got like a red trees and flowers, and your character's got red hair, so you kind of crouch and hide in that. There's all these robots that you've got to try and avoid, essentially, because they're trying to kill you. The story's a little bit confusing, because if you haven't played the first game, you don't necessarily get why you're chasing after an artificial intelligence to try and rebuild the Earth.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
There you go, guys.
And they do
Summed
this
up.
really quick recap within about 30 seconds saying, oh, yes, well, we're after the Gaia program, but Hades has been blah, 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 blah. And I was
So
thinking,
I'd love this game because it doesn't have much story time.
yeah, you can skip all the cutscenes, so
Good.
you really would like this
Good.
game. But I think, apart from Ratchet and Clank, and I'm glad you mentioned that, this is the second time on the PS5 that I felt like this is the next generation. So Ratchet and Clank is the sort of gateway. This is the follow-on. This is like an improved next level Ratchet and Clank.
Just as a side note, someone said to me the other day at work, because I was talking about Ratchet and Clank and the fact that it just looks absolutely amazing. The question she asked, do you think it's worth upgrading to a PS5 or should they just buy the Switch instead?
The Switch is very much the sort of console that you get if you like your casual games. If you want games that are quick and to pick up, play for 5 minutes and put down. If you want the kind of the cutting edge of gaming without having to spend like $5,000 on a computer, the PlayStation 5 is a good place to go. But it's
Yeah.
still expensive. It's still very expensive. So I don't know.
So back to this game, what would you give it out of 10?
I mean, it's a 10 out of 10. It's getting full marks everywhere. There was a little bit of jittery cutting in some of the animations, and you think, come on, you've done so much to get this game. But they are fixing that with a patch already. It's 60 quid on PS4, by the way, and then you can upgrade it to the PlayStation 5 for free. so you can
that's
save
good.
yourself 10 quid.
That's good.
So don't spend 70 on it. PlayStation exclusive, and it's out now. Next up, zombies. You excited about this? What do you mean? Zombies is...
I hate zombie games, apart from Resident Evil.
It's not like that. This is Dying Light 2, Becoming Human.
Rainer said you were a pilgrim.
None of your business.
You think your barking will make an impression on me?
Did you know a girl named Mia?
Mia? No. Who's Mia?
She's my sister.
Promise you'll never leave me alone here. Never.
I won't leave you.
Swear.
I don't have to.
Not him, no!
A long time ago, Waltz hurt her. He took her from me. And I want him to tell me where she is.
Well, that kind of information is expensive.
So I played some Dying Light 1, right, in preparation.
Okay.
I bought the Platinum Edition, which was well expensive.
You didn't tell me that.
No, I know. It was too expensive. It was like 80 quid.
80 quid?
It really hurt my bank.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, it was awesome. Dying Light 1 is a very good game, and the zombies are scary, and got guns, and you can shoot them and all this. This game is like that, but more impressive. You can run around and jump, and it's called parkour, you know, that thing where people run and jump on fences.
Parkour.
It's just lost the whole point of why the game is good, though. The game is good because you can have guns and go around and shoot zombies. And in this game, they've gone, all the guns have gone. So there are no guns.
So what do you do?
You run around and slash zombies in the head, but they take about 5 hits. Really annoying. The combat's pretty good, but I just don't understand why they got rid of the best bit of the game. If you want to know how it works, it's called Becoming Human. I don't know why, because you're a human and you're becoming a zombie.
What?
You've been infected at the beginning of a
Why
game.
call it Becoming Human?
I don't really understand why they didn't call this Trying Not to Become a Zombie. Because all the time...
I don't think it would sell as many copies, to be honest, but okay.
If you're far away from your base and there's a lot of virus around, there's a bar that sort of ticks over towards turning you into an evil zombie. But then the more towards the light you go, you sort of become more human. It's madness. Also, the usual zombie rules don't apply. If you've watched like zombie films, you shoot them in the head, they go down in one shot. In this, UV light repels the zombies. I've never heard of that before. Doesn't really do it for me, to be
Well,
honest.
it's kind of like fast-tracked sunlight, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of what they are. There's always purple lights, and you know that they're the safe zones, so you run towards the purple. I played it for about 5 hours, and I thought,
So just out of interest, how much did this version cost?
This is about 55 quid, and it's on the PS4 5, Xbox One, Series X, and it's on the PC as well.
Do you think it's better off getting the first one?
I'd get the first one if you haven't played it. You're not going to get that many hours of fun out of this, I'll be honest with you. So it's only a 5 out of 10.
Pills here!
I love how you've written the next
Go on,
one.
read it word for word.
Another new Pokemon game. OMG. Another one?
This land is the Hisui region. It will come to be known as the Sinnoh region. And at this time, the ecology of its wild Pokemon remains unknown. Therefore, many people still fear Pokemon. And such people live together in Jubilife Village, where this story begins.
The reason why it's OMG is because we've played a lot of new Pokemon games recently.
I love Pokemon games. It's just like a new one every couple of months.
It's because they do, basically. There's Pokemon Unite, which was quite good. Then there's like Sword and Shield, which we liked.
Yeah, we like that one.
But then they do all the remasters, like Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond, or whatever they're called. And it's just, they're just remasters, they're boring. Now this one, finally, they've changed the format.
Yeah, I've noticed.
It's much better. They've finally done a Pokemon game for original fans who wanted something new. So you fall out of the sky.
Obviously.
And nobody questions that at all. And then they go, hello, have you come from the sky? And you go,
they got the idea from I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Is that your reference point?
Yeah, exactly. They just kind of chuck them in the forest and then they end up in Pokemon Land.
That's exactly how it is.
Okay.
And you create your character who really likes wearing flip-flops for some reason. Slightly
Why not?
disconcerting. This is like Zelda Breath of the Wild and a bit like Horizon, actually, that huge... Just touched the microphone there, got so excited. It's that huge open world, but with Pokemon. And instead of having to go into battle mode, you know, like how it's cuts.
So annoying.
Well, this one is much cooler because the battles happen, but you can like run around the outskirts of the battle and watch them happen. So it feels much more like a real Pokemon battle.
And it's more about the Pokemon, isn't it? Like you are actually going. Your mission is to fill that Pokedex and also catch some Pokemon instead of always just battling other players.
And it's cool because if you catch a Pikachu, let's say, you've got to try and catch a Pikachu doing different things.
Yeah.
You've got to catch 5 of them, let's say, and that gives you a little tick in your Pokedex. You've got to catch one that's fatter than the others, and that gives you some more information about the Pokemon. So there's a lot more challenges to do, and you are chucking Pokeballs like a madman.
Love it. That's what you want to do. When you buy a Pokemon game, that's all you want to do.
And it's hard. The battles, you will find that you lose some of the battles, unlike the original Pokemon where you just win everything.
Well, some of the Pokemon, like in the trailer, it says, you know, some Pokemon will actually fight you, some will flee, some of them will just go, like Bailey probably, catch me, feed me, love
bunny.
me.
That is like that.
But it's good to have variety and it's good to do something finally different in a Pokemon game.
When I was in the canteen at work, this was the most interesting thing. On the day it came out, the guy who was working there on his break was sitting there playing Pokemon.
No way.
And he was our age and he was a fan of the originals, and this was the one that excited him the most. So it's back, and it's for people like me and you who played it on Game Boy, basically. 50 quid on the Switch, and it's finally something a bit different. How's your martial arts knowledge?
I mean, I used to do Aikido as a kid.
Blimey, that's pretty good then.
Yeah.
I just went to IKEA.
Go on, why?
There's a martial arts game.
Oh, right.
Called Sifu.
Sifu. Isn't that what you get at IKEA? Oh, no.
That's meatballs.
Meatballs.
Not seafood.
In the end, you're still that same child I knew. Helpless. Like the night I killed your father. You want revenge.
So, this is a very short game.
Okay.
Think of it like a martial arts simulator. So, Sifu is the name of your father. It's a really lovely start because he gets killed at the beginning. And you're pretty...
Spoiler alert.
Well, no, it's the first thing that happens. And then you're pretty angry, so you go on a rampage. And all you do is use your mad martial arts skills to take down everybody who's ever wronged you.
Oh.
But it's really cool. So you start off at the age of 20.
Yeah.
And then if you die...
Yeah.
you become 21 and revive.
Oh, okay.
If you die again, it adds on 2 years, and then it adds on 3 years, and then it adds on 4. So the way you lose the game is by getting to 70 and then dying.
Okay.
And your character ages.
No way.
It's actually really cool. And your character gets more powerful, but has less health each
Right.
time.
Okay.
So it shows like experience, but then you're getting a bit more frail.
I see.
But that means that if there's 5 levels, and if you get to
How do they come up with these
I
games?
don't know. But if you get to level 2 and you're age 60, you're never going to complete the game on that run.
You never know.
No, you won't.
You never know.
It's too
You
hard.
might- have you seen some 60-year-olds? They are badass.
But it's a really cool. It's a very different kind of game, and the combat is absolutely amazing.
Is it?
It's just one to play for maybe a couple of hours, and it's not that expensive because it's 30 quid.
Is it like Streets of Rage, or is it more like Tsushima? Ghost of Tsushima.
It's like a cross between the two, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It's third person, though, so you're looking outside of your character. But it's a bit like Kena Bridge of Spirits in that they've done such a great job, but they needed to spend even more money to get like the world's best, fully realised version of the game.
You never know. They might come up with a sequel.
Oh, they definitely will. It's so popular.
No, I've been really excited about this one. Because what better way to prepare for your wedding
I think we did this, actually.
than playing a wedding simulator? So, mega congratulations to Alex Rhodes and Hope as well, who are now engaged. But how will he approach the big occasion? Well, let's find out. Here he is with our Simulator of the Month.
Hello, Chris and Lee. It's Alex here, back for another month. And, well, I've got some exciting news. I'm engaged to be married, just to be clear. And so, whilst my blushing bride-to-be, Hope, she's, handling the venue, the food, the sort of invite list, the band, the sort of little wedding placement things. What I'm going to do as part of that is play a load of mobile games from the App Store about weddings. So this one is called Dream Wedding Simulator. So let's give that one a go. Now, I've downloaded a few of them, but none of them make any sound, unfortunately. None of them have any soundtracks. Obviously, they didn't pay for a band. But I think that really indicates of the quality of game that is on offer. So let's have a go. Okay, so play. Oh, what is even going on? Okay, pick a venue. That is an important part, isn't it? Here's my first choice, fancy venue. Okay, good. Right, so this is my venue. Classic church style, Okay, tables and chairs. The fancier ones are locked. Just like in real life, I can't afford them. So let's put a couple of tables there. Then you can get like a very little table. I'll put that in the corner for all the people that you kind of have to invite but don't actually want there. Not naming anyone in particular. Now and then. Okay, right. Oh, cake. Yes, cake. To afford any of the good-looking cakes, it costs £3.50. No, thank you. The Colin the Caterpillar knockoffs. One of those. I think Hope likes that. Let's go with that. No one eats the cake anyway, do they? You cut the cake, and then everyone sits down and forgets about it, and it just goes stale. And then you get to take home about 3 bags of cake that you're not going to eat. Oh, let's pick the bride and groom, obviously. One of them is a crying child. Presumably that's the flower girl, not one of the people you can marry, unless this game is really dark. Child Bride Simulator 2022. Okay, let's pick... here's the man. He kind of looks a bit like me. Waistcoat, rolled up sleeves, no socks, very fashionable. And here's one of the brides. Same blank expression that I hope my wife-to-be will have on the happiest day of our lives. Oh, this game also has lots of pop-up adverts, which again is kind of like the wedding experience all the way through. As you're just trying to, go through your day and sort out your wedding, you've got people trying to flog you things, overpriced. You can't do anything except sit there and watch the sales pitch and try and ignore it as best you can. There's a very limited amount of guests you can have. I wish this was accurate for the actual wedding. Right, okay, I think my dream wedding is almost ready to go. Guests, tables and chandeliers are just kind of scattered everywhere. There's a forlorn looking cake in the corner, and there is a DJ looking on, probably thinking this is the weirdest gig she's ever had. The biggest scam of all, the flowers. The flowers are massive. They're bigger than the DJ deck. Okay, we can take it. Oh, it's photo time. Okay, right. Let's move the crying child behind the wedding cake so you can't see them. Bang. Beautiful. There you go. Now that is a day to remember. Getting pretty good at this. I think this is going to be pretty easy. Famous last words. But yeah, I can definitely, who needs a wedding planner when, you've got a dodgy knockoff Russian wedding planner game on the App Store.
Oh, thanks, Alex. I mean, okay.
So
it's a practice run.
So where's our invite? I'm just going to say
we're still waiting.
I think we're on the second tier. If anyone drops out.
Yeah, reserve list.
I just wanted to mention a quick game called Ollie Ollie World, which is really fun if you're a skater. It's on the Switch.
Okay.
You might like some of the jokes in this because, I don't know, they're quite pun heavy. So you've got like the skatriarchs, who are like the skating gods. And
my days.
It's just really, really fun. But it was so frustrating to play because I sucked at it.
Obviously.
You suck at a game.
Did you used to play Tony Hawk? Did you ever play Tony Hawk?
I love Tony Hawk, but I also sucked at that.
Did you? I bet you did. Did you skate in real life as well?
I bought a skateboard and that was as far as I got because I could roll. I was a better rollerblader.
I thought you were about to say I could just roll on it. I could just imagine you just rolling across.
I genuinely couldn't even do that. I was so terrible. Are you going to skate off into the distance? But this is really fun. It's like a side scroller. So you're skating on the rails and then you jump on the wall and you do your tricks and all that stuff. It's really fun. But every time you fail the sort of huge trick run, you have to go back to the beginning.
Oh, that's a bit annoying.
And because I failed it so much, I played for about an hour and I was really enjoying it. And I thought, I'm just too bad at this game.
Yeah.
But it is fun.
You got to know when to just pack it in and say, I suck.
Go for rollerblade.
So what can we get that on?
That's all platforms except for mobiles, and it's 25 quid.
I thought it'd be good on a mobile.
That's exactly the point I would make.
Can you just imagine turning your iPhone to the side and, anyway. Maybe we'll release one like that. Who knows?
Our blading. What would you call our rollerblading game?
Blades of Steel.
Very good. Would buy. That's it. Next month, Elden Ring.
It's been a good month for games, hasn't it?
It's a bit frustrating though, because what happens is they release all the good games and expensive games like Dying Light, Horizon Forbidden West or whatever it's called, and Elden Ring, and they're all 60, 70 quid, all at the same time.
But Chris, you don't have to buy them all at the same time.
I do for the podcast.
You don't have to buy them all at the same time. You can buy one.
No, need to review them all.
And then buy the next one.
No, I must review them all. I've got to go now to play Elden Ring. That sounds so weird to say, doesn't it? Alex could have given hope that Elden Ring...
Oh! Maybe he still can.
70 quid, lot cheaper, Alex.
I don't think she'd be very happy.